that we need people, of course, who are very much experienced, but then it doesn't do away with the fact that we also need some of these young minds who could also be in the game. That
well, there are people who are young, some senior advocates who are very young. It just takes you 10 years in the bar to if you're very active, to be a judge or a senior advocate. But you must look for the best. Well, the experience of the Abuja court issue in the ICC was issue of mediocrity in the system. Rather than rewarding merit, we reward mediocrity. We use quota system instead of merit. So if, for example, you're constituting such a legal panel, let it be that you take the best. If all of them come from Southwest, it doesn't matter. But let it be that you're using the best. Because one thing I've seen in Nigeria is that sometimes we sacrifice merit for quota.
Okay.
But I'm sure that in every so-called sections of Nigeria, you can get the best brains.
The very best of brains, yeah, it's true.
If you look down,
it's true.
The best brains, and that's why the issue of what do you call it, federal character, is important in a country that is so enlightened, so creative. It's a pity. I remember when 650 naira, 50 kobo, was equivalent to $1. Wow. When we were in secondary school, we used to do pen pals.
Wow. And
your pen pal abroad could send you $1. It was like nothing. Your pen pal abroad could send you $2 because just 65 kobo.
Wow.
I'm talking about 100 as if it's not the 65 kobo. Later it became 650 naira. In 1973, for example, 74, remember when early secondary school, our pen pals used to send us such money. They give you $2, it was like nothing. But when you have $2 now, how much?
It's almost nothing.
No, when you have $2 now.
$2 right now. That
more than 40.
40.
More than 4.
Well,
we
need to really confirm. We need to confirm because we still use Naira right now.
$2 is about $2,000. 2,000 much they are made by the National Bureau of Statistics, adding that a total of 1.93 trillion was generated across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory in 2020-22 IGR. According to the National Bureau for Statistics data, the least state on the list are Kebbi, 9.1 billion, Taraba, 10.2 billion, and Yobe State, 10.5 billion, all in the northeast. You can understand why. Northeast. Now, MBS further noted that the tax subcategory recorded in the period included pay as you earn, payee, direct assessment, road taxes, stamp duties, capital gain tax, withholding tax. Other taxes are local government area revenue. The 36 states and the FCT generated a total of sum of 1.92 trillion as IGR in 2022. This grew by 1.57% compared to 1.89 in 2021. It's a progress, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oyo, Lagos, and Jigawa states were the three leading states with the highest local government revenue reported during the year. I'm interested in that. The state recorded 11.8 billion, 11.5 billion, and 8.7 billion respectively on local government revenue. Wow. Talking about revenue generation in Nigeria with IGR, we will complain that states go cap in hand to the center to beg for money at FEC. They distribute that. And any state that doesn't get much doesn't have much to spend. And that's why Nigerians have been talking about fiscal federalism. Let state generate money and pay to the center. But let's look at the value, the quality of revenue generation. Lagos is the 5th largest economy in Africa because they generate a lot of revenue. River State has a distant second there, followed by FCT, followed by Ogun State. Some states in the south is like Tara generating. That's the problem. Wow. Do they really exist? They wait for federal money to come and they give it to them and they share or they pay to do one of two things, In River State, for example, local governments are lucky. They have removed education as junior, secondary, and primary from them, basic education from them. They have removed public health from them. That is the local health facility from them. They have removed sanitation from them. State government is carrying all these loads. So what actually do they do with their money and how do they generate their revenue?
That's a very Serious
So
question.
revenue generation is important. Many states are issuing tax reforms, doing tax reforms to, to enlarge their tax net.
It's actually, generation for the country.
Yeah.
It will go a very long way.
Now, what about River State?
River State is, I think, it's second. And Ogun, right? You saw Ogun there?
Yes, Ogun is fourth.
And some of the states are using the pay as you.
I think the payee thing seems to be the highest. And yet we look down on workers. We look down on the workforce. Most of what you call internally generated revenue in most states today are tax. You and I pay tax. An average civil servant pays tax. So it is the reason why we must improve the loss of civil servants.
Sure.
Because most of what you see as tax earnings by many states comes from payee.
Very true.
And that puts a lot of burden on government to take care of civil servants.
Very true. Because they're literally almost a very vital component when it comes to the revenue generation in respective states. So it means they should be, of course, given very much attention and, if possible, improve their salaries.
Another thing about revenue generation is there must be some kind of creativity in productivity.
Okay.
A state that is not very productive, that doesn't have a productive population, cannot generate tax. A state that doesn't have a lot of investment in their community cannot, because tax is gotten from, even the so-called payee, is when companies relocate to River State and are doing businesses that they pay tax. It's when businesses are operating that they talk of tax, even from payee. Now, talking from the seaport.
So even the... Okay.
Go outside and see all the cars. Most of the cars that pass, that's revenue for Lagos. And yet we have the seaport here. If our ports in Port Harcourt are working with the One port, for example, which is at your backyard, is the deepest port in West Africa. And how many ships bet there? That's the problem.
Wow.
So everything happens in Lagos, and so the politics of Lagos having the highest IGR also has a lot to do with the activities that are going on
right there. It's true. It's true. So when you have limited activities, economic activities.
Exactly. When cars are imported into this country, you have to register it before you drive it down. You have to register. So that's why most cars have Lagos numbers, because they're coming from that port. Even when you're coming from Cotonou, you also have to register before you come here. So it is a big burden to many states that are within the water zones.
Yeah, for them to actually meet up with revenue generation. It's true.
Now, for those states in the south, I think that this security is also affecting, and the rural nature of their states, because only taxes from teachers and maybe motor parks, collections and motor parks and markets.
It almost amounts to nothing.
Nothing. And all those ones actually should be going to the local government revenue generation, like Oyo State. Other states should look at what's happening in Oyo State, why their local government areas are generating more revenue. I think so.
Yeah, very true. Totally agree with that. Yeah. And I just hope that other states would take a lead.
A cue from that. Now let's look at this story. That will be the last for the half hour. Then we're going to break.
Right.
Barely a week into the 6-week duration of submission of applications for recruitment into the constable cadre of Nigerian Police Force, exactly 288,266 Nigerian youths have completed their online applications to be considered for recruitment. The Police Service Commission made the development known Tuesday, while noting that the recruitment portal www.apply.206 application as of 7 p.m. on Monday, October 23. It further reveals that of the 288,206 applications already received, 217,105 applications met the basic requirement for the further considerations in the subsequent stages of the recruitment process. Basic requirement, I'm interested in that. The spokesperson for the PSC, Ike Chukwuani, in a statement on Tuesday said a total number of 217,300 Nigerian youths have so far applied for the general duty post, while 6, 7 apply for specialist posts. Other than 69, 426 applications have so far been rejected for the inability to meet the requirements for further consideration, out of which 46,868 were rejected for overage. Now, they are giving impression in processing the police. I'll tell you a story so that you can continue from the narrative.
All right.
Recently, somewhere in the north, a terrorist who was declared missing was found at a police recruitment process, and there should be this recruitment or some other one. He was found among the police recruits.
A terrorist.
And that is a sad commentary. It's indicative of the fact that the reason why we have problem in the police is the recruitment process. So when we're talking about police reform, shouldn't we start from the recruitment process?
Recruitment process, very true. Because a whole lot of persons right now are going to the police, because of their stomach. A lot of persons. Look at the number.
Not because of patriotism.
Look, most often than not, it's not because of patriotism. Look at the number: 280-something thousand police. So that means a few, yes, quite a number of them could be passionate about protecting the state, but majority might be out of what will I do, what will I eat? Let me just join them. And of course, the process, there should be some sort of quality selection. You can't just let someone who is a terrorist, like the case you just mentioned right now, or someone who has no passion at all for saving lives, and who's not even patriotic, to just come and join the police. They're the ones that might eventually, form some level of bad eggs amongst the police. So we have to be very meticulous when it comes to the selection process. And not just because there is an opening, we accept everybody, without going through the right scrutiny.
I think that you're right, because a lot of things are happening. You're talking about the bad eggs in the police. Most of the people who are joining police because they are looking for a job are the ones that become criminals in the police. Remember how many police inspectors were dismissed recently? Were being disciplined, undergoing disciplinary process. Some of them are undergoing what they call orderly rule trials. Some have been prosecuted. Some have been demoted. As a result of indiscipline, some of these indiscipline stem from their background before they were even recruited. So I'm happy that they seem to be processing them properly. Because gold has to pass through fire before it becomes gold.
True.
And the issue of overage, that one is a big question sign in Nigeria. People leave school and look for a job for many years, and when they get a job, they tell them they're overaged. They put age limit. Somebody was even saying that they should stop putting age limit in employment because of unemployment in Nigeria. Because generally, a lot of people spend a lot of time at home. If they say they are going to recruit only those who are 18 years or 19 or 20, 21. So I left secondary school long ago. I maybe at age 16. And they've stayed at home till they are 30. So why would you not recruit them? I think we have to consider that aspect very, very seriously.
You mean for the overage, right?
Yes.
True. I don't think the overage, except it's very critical, except they're very old. What is the truth? Except they're very old that they cannot even hold a rifle or, they can't really defend.
I think they're seeing young people under 30.
If they're young, full of life.
Under 30.
Under 30
yes.
or... Under 30 is okay.
For constable, yes.
Yes, under 30 is better. Yeah, except that. But if the overage is about a man who is 50, 60 applying to be 45. In the police force, what are you going to do there? To protect us, or we should protect you?
You won't even pass the... you pass through this recruitment process.
You understand?
Or the training process.
Exactly. So overage should not be 100% criterion.
There should be some limit to that. There should be some consideration.
Exactly.
Because it's affecting every service now. A lot of people are willing to join the army, have that burning desire, and when they go, they say they're overage. Even the same thing with other working situations. Say not more than 27, not more than 28.
Yeah, and it's usually very...
And a child is delayed in school, in the university. You finish, it takes 1 year to process, and corruption is also a problem in the recruitment process.
I mean, those are the
these are the things, because that is a problem.
That's another major
problem. Nigerian factor. So sometimes we recruit the wrong persons.
Even though you know it's wrong. Yes. You say, no, let them be. It's my brother, it's my sister, it's from my tribe.
So police reform should start from the recruitment process. We're going to short break. When we return, we continue with the discussion. Don't go away. is ATN Press Roundtable.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
And then the Independent National Electoral Commission has called for a peaceful election in the November 11 governorship polls in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, made a call at the quarterly meeting with political parties on Tuesday. Yakubu noted that the free and fair elections can be conducted in a peaceful atmosphere, urging political parties to maintain peace during campaigns and on election day. He said, unquote, in 3 states involving parties and candidates, after all, an election is a paramount concern to us. In the same vein, the chairman of IPAC, Yabagi Sani, said, to reaffirm citizens' confidence, INEC must continue to demonstrate impartiality, transparency, and a commitment to conducting free, fair, and credible elections. The Bayelsa election has to do with off-season election. The Kogi State with Kogi State, same with Imo State. And it's coming for free and fair election. And coming from INEC, is it not the place of INEC to ensure that they do not, administer the election in a manner that can generate violence? I think that the first burden falls on their shoulders to make sure that they do what is needful, that will not lead to agitations and restiveness. What will bring confidence in the system. What will remove that deficit trust, that is a trust deficit that is inherent in the process. When people think that INEC will compromise, they go all the way to do all manner of things, and that creates violence. The case of Bayelsa, case of Kogi, case of Imo State. Imo State is already like, a state on the precipice of violence. Same with Bayelsa, in some set, Kogi almost the same. So what's your take on that?
Not just the process. They will be held, it's not free and fair. And just like seen several years, still believing that INEC is pure, that they are true. And of course, it's a sole responsibility to ensure 100% fairness in this election, transparency in the elections. I still believe, anyways, that looking at what has happened before, there could be a very big difference, and the difference will be more positive during the election. And that's why we need to have, we need to be certain that there is high level of security on that day. But sometimes people find it difficult for to go out and vote on election days. The fear of what if I'm being shot? What if there was a level of insecurity? Sometimes polls have been stolen.
So it leads to election apathy.
Exactly.
Voter apathy.
Exactly. People get scared of criminal. I mean, I've heard situations, people testifying that they couldn't participate in the election because of the fear of insecurity. And no matter how, sometimes, no matter how you sound it, that there will be a level of security. On that very day, you see here gunshots. Sometimes these gunshots are not coming from the police or the
state actors.
They are coming from the
Non-state
opposing,
actors.
you understand? So it's really scary. So, but I'm believing that before the November 11 elections, all will be put in place in conjunction with the state authorities to ensure credible, peaceful, emphasis on peaceful elections in those respective states.
I'm talking about security. All eyes should be on these 3 states. We'll not talk about police being overwhelmed. We'll talk about the security operatives being overwhelmed. Because we are talking about 3 states. So there will be a large presence of security operatives in these 3 states.
Those respective states.
So that could be part of what will generate confidence in the electoral process.
Exactly.
But most importantly, INEC must make sure that the entire process works. We talk about the Electoral Act, talk about the guidelines. These are some of the contradictions that the guidelines different from the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act is that part of the law that mandates INEC to use every means possible to ensure that they succeed. This time they should ensure that whatever means they are using in terms of the execution of the process itself does not contradict the law and even the Constitution.
Very true.
And that is what we expect. The beavers machine, like INEC said, will be used. Let them demonstrate to the world that this time around the electronic transmission can work.
Really?
Yes, let them do that.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, all Nigerians need is a very high level of assurance.
Exactly.
Of credibility.
And it's not just by mouthing it.
It's not by mouthing.
It's like walking the talk.
Exactly. When you say it, you do it.
You do it.
You prove it over and over again. And then by so doing, people will have a level of trust in the system.
Yes. And this is the last chance for Mahmoud. For him, if he doesn't get it right, then he should not think about 2027.
Of course.
That's exactly why he should put everything into this election to prove that he was right last time, but he was misunderstood. Let him change the narrative this time.
Because Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are watching.
And the international communities are watching.
Also watching.
The media. And we hope that people don't lose their lives, because the case where people die every time in elections is a very sad commentary.
In fact, it's become...
Especially journalists in particular.
Journalists also. It's become like the order of the day.
Yes.
For people to at least, if not at least 10 to 15, 20 lives or more must be lost. So we are really hoping that we believe there will be security on ground and all that. We believe that it wouldn't just be a case of the mouth, sweet mouth. It will be something that will be a reality. As they're saying it will happen.
And the political actors will behave like Jonathan said. His election is not worth the blood of any Nigerian.
Exactly.
If they take that maxim, it's not just something people are talking about. It should be something that should be a part of the psychology and the belief system, and even the actions and utterances of every Nigerian politician. Let them declare that their election to any political office is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. And then there'll be confidence. Recruitment of talks that become Frankenstein monsters will be stopped.
Very true.
All right, let's look at this story and see whether it will lead us to bed. The governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, has said that the ongoing agro-cargo airport project along Iliso-Iperu Road in the Kenne local government area of the state should be ready for commercial flight operations by December. Abiodun, according to a statement on Monday from Chief Press Secretary Mr. Lekon Adeniran, revealed this while speaking with newsmen shortly after inspecting the level of work at the cargo airport. The governor also said that the state government will soon recoup all expenses on this project, as various international aviation companies are already jostling for concessional operations. Added that the concession on the facility will be done in the next 1.5 months, with the state recouping of airports. In many states of the Federation, we're also talking about dry ports in Kano, dry ports in Kaduna, dry ports in many parts of the country. These are infrastructure and facilities that grow the economy. An agro-cargo airport will boost the agricultural prowess of the Southwest because they're very good at agriculture, and will boost transportation. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Very true. In fact, when I see this kind of news, I get excited because, I mean, contrary to some kind of news we see of, cases of losses, sometimes oil thefts and all the plenty numerous stories on the news. But we see these kind of stories, it gives some level of joy. Yeah, that we are investing. Yes, investing on something that is very lucrative. And because in the end, it would attract international investors. Yes. It attract people to come do more operations over there. Exactly. And by so doing, bring back to the economy and we develop a lot of things. So I must say I give him my accolades. I applaud that very state for what they're doing. I think other states should also take a lead.
Exactly. They should follow up. So that development is not only about road infrastructure. You see what Akwa Ibom is doing? They are developed in aviation. And what these people are doing is also part of development in aviation.
Aviation, yeah.
And many states should take a cue, And one thing that a lot of people still will know that whether such a state is prepared for development or not. A state that is prepared for development and bringing infrastructure on the ground, we put in more capital expenditure than recurrent expenditure. Because recurrent expenditure is a consumption budget, predicated budget. You only pay salary and paying overhead and recruiting PA by PA and all manner of.
Like we saw on the news the other time, over how many thousands of PAs and no, this money should be, diverted into the very appropriate.
It is when you have a productive economy, you can talk about IGR.
Exactly.
You can talk about employment.
Exactly.
You can talk about growth in many aspects of the social and economic sector.
Even this in development right now would attract employment because youth will be employed to work there. A way of reducing poverty, unemployment. It's a welcome development.
It will create jobs.
It certainly will. And by extension, bring back money to the state.
So that's why you need such infrastructure. They are not white elephants. But this politics of stomach infrastructure, you must give people the money. If you will not check, we have that problem in Nigeria. Yes, there must be human capital development.
Very true.
A part of human capital development, my brother, is creating jobs. You cannot be talking about human capital development and you think it is dashing people money. Create jobs. Make the people to be productive. Develop the education sector. Let people go to school. That's what. Because Nigerians misunderstand human capital development. You think it means dashing people money. It means developing state infrastructure that will help in giving impetus to youth development, impetus to poverty eradication, and what have you.